folks. Welcome in. Seven Rivers Racing here in KQEG-TV. I'm Dan Dyker. We have come to the completion of two regular seasons at two local raceways. That would be in Fountain City. The Mississippi Thunder Speedway crowned their track champions last weekend. At the La Crosse Speedway, even though the regular season finale has come about, we will not crown the champions until Oktoberfest. And the way that they were running at La Crosse on Saturday night, you could tell that there were some points championships still to be determined as we head into Oktoberfest. We're going to start things right off the bat at the La Crosse Speedway with the NASCAR Quick Trip late models. What a run that they had both during the feature and the match race, which we're going to talk about both of those here in a couple of minutes. The dominating man, driver, you name it, you can put any kind of adjective you want behind him. Did it again on Saturday night at the La Crosse Speedway. What a year it's been for Steve Carlson. He's only had a couple of bumps in the road when it comes to what racing he's done so far this year, but he's just been spectacular. And again, he picks himself up yet another feature race win, pretty much solidifies a track championship at the La Crosse Speedway. What happens statewide and national-wide, we may have to find out come Oktoberfest when the points come down to the finale. The big race here, though, was between this third and fourth place between Brad Powell, Mike Carlson, Brent Kirshner, and Todd Korish. Those two stayed pretty much bumper to bumper all the way through the feature event, but Steve Carlson in the end gets the feature event. Saturday night, Brent Kirshner finished second, Todd Korish third. Mike Kinnicky was back out again in the 19 car. He took fourth, and Cole Howland rounded out the top five. So the point settings heading into Oktoberfest is Steve Carlson, Jay Herbst, Brad Powell, Mike Carlson, Todd Korish. And some of those drivers still jockeying for positions to get into the top five or maybe even get into a better position. Mike Carlson heads into Oktoberfest only 3 points behind Brad Powell for the top three at La Crosse. To the sportsmen's we go. Jamie Dummer had quite the night, got himself a heat race win earlier in the evening. Narrowly escaped in the sportsman division on this race here. He was leading the points leader, Jake Arneson in the bumper all the way to the final lap. Arneson looked to make a final move here up in turn 3 and 4, which you're going to see here in a moment as these drivers come across, and they're going to go with the white flag. This was quite the race right here, as those two had pulled away. Jared Logging had stayed within about a car back of Arneson. Greg Scheck did the same thing, and it came down to this corner right here. Jamie Dummer, a little bit more horses, as you see Arneson try to set him up right into the outside. Great camera angle right there, as you see how the nose goes in. Arneson thought about it, didn't have enough room, and of course Jamie Dummer's going to cross the line at that last ditch effort there about the 37. Arneson slipped, just couldn't get the pass. Jared Logging ends up taking third. So the point standings heading into Oktoberfest, this is one of the interesting classes because you can drop about 60 points in a night depending upon what your car does and what the driver does, of course. So we're going to head into Oktoberfest with Jake Arneson of Taylor. He will be your point leader, followed by Greg Scheck, who's only 34 back, and Steve Bachman is 39 back. Those two drivers have flip-flopped second and third over the past couple of weeks. So they're going to be doing what they can to shake down Arneson here as we head into the finale on Oktoberfest race weekend. Andy Moore ended the night with a feature win in the Thunder Stocks. It's been either Andy or Adam pretty much predominant throughout the entire race season. Had a good one here, though, as Jordan Myers, still in the points chase heading into Oktoberfest, had made this just a two-car battle between those two for about 5 or 6 laps. Jordan, I talked to afterwards, said he thought he was going to have a shot on that run right there. He got a little bit too high up, almost hitting the back straightaway wall, and wanted this feature win to try to chip into the point lead by Adam Moore. Andy just doing what Andy does the entire race season, and he knows that track pretty much like no other. Andy Moore takes the win, followed by Jordan Myers, Josh Inglet, a fashionable third-place finish. As we set you up to Oktoberfest, it comes down to one final race for Adam Moore coming out of Sparta. He leads Jordan Myers by 12 and Jason Bolster by 30. So the night ended with the second annual match race with the La Crosse late models. We had bracket racing going on. Nick Clements defeated by Steve Carlson in round 1. Then it came down to several other drivers. Brent Kirshner had advanced on. He had a nice run against Brad Powell until he slipped up coming into turn 1. The rear end got around, and Powell advanced onwards. Jay Herbst was in this event. Cole Howland was in the event, and it was Todd Korish. It finally came down to the last race of the night for the 2013 late model season, and it was Steve Carlson, or Brad Powell won the first race. Carlson won the second, and it came down to the last championship race for the matches. And this one went door to door the entire way. Side-by-side racing, as you've got Brad Powell on the inside, Steve Carlson on the outside. Of course, Carlson, one of the few late models at La Crosse that sets himself up to run the outside rail. Brad Powell, doesn't matter where he runs, he's always fast, and this was a fantastic race as we have had the last three right here. And when you call this kind of race, the fans were involved. They were up out of their seat. I had to walk out on the porch to get the finale of this one here, as these two just put on quite the show as they've done the entire race season. Former track champions. They've been doing this for many years, door to door. That's down the back straightaway with one to go. Carlson said he got a little bit loose right here, and you kind of figure with the late model racing they had done the entire night. Brad Powell's going to slip right in front, but kudos goes out to both drivers, all eight, as a matter of fact, that made the match race as interesting as it was. And we always thought the biggest match of the night would be Jay Herbst against Brent Kirshner. And, of course, Kirshner got his way through there. Jay Herbst had bowed out, and then it went onwards. Kirshner had a nice race against Powell, but then again, you saw it went down to the finale right there. So that's going to do it for the regular season. Coming up next Saturday night, one of the favorite nights for a lot of race fans in the area. It's the Eve of Destruction. Not only do we have the Green Mamba jet car this year, we have 5 different jet cars. Not running at the same time, because, of course, you'd feel the heat probably all the way to my guest's house. It's going to be quite warm there. 5 jet cars. We've got monster trucks, the huge trailer race of destruction. We've got rollover competitions, the T-Bone crash, the Gauntlet crash, whatever else Chuck Deary decides to blow up at the racetrack on Saturday night, we will have it for you. And going to be some interesting times with the swimming pool. Not going to let you know anything more than that, but you're going to have to watch Saturday night what happens when the swimming pool makes its presence known, maybe on the racetrack itself. Then we've got Friday Night Street Drags coming up, one more regular season installment. That's going to be September 13th with 15 brackets. And when we come back after this break, we'll set you up for the final street drag and another event that's just been added to the La Crosse Speedway schedule next on 7 Rivers Racing here in KQ.
When you're all out of good ideas and you've moved on to the dumb ones, it's time. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, a higher standard of comfort.
May I take your order?
Be not defeated by indecision. Choose the path that leads to a better day. Choose the way of the meal.
Make it a meal with one of Cousin Sub's new pork subs, the Memphis steak or the Cubano for a limited time only.
The key to happiness is sharing.
No.
Cousin Subs. Better bread, better subs, better day.
Did you know that the Holman American Legion is open to the public? That's right, 7 days a week you can enjoy the full-service bar while watching your favorite sports team or NASCAR driver. You don't need to be a member to enjoy the Holman American Legion's rotating lunch special every Tuesday for only $6. A banquet hall with seating up to 250 people is also available for weddings, birthdays, or any other special event. See you at the Holman American Legion, 419 First Avenue West in Holman.
Get ready for the Thunder! The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Racing starts at 7. Super stocks.
Modified.
600 mods.
Pure stocks.
Street stocks.
Levi.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style.
Tickets $12 for adults.
$5, 18 and under.
$8 for students. Or our family pack.
$25 for 2 adults and 3 kids, 18 and under.
Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder!
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
We are back, 7 Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. Just because the regular season is over with at Mississippi Thunder and the La Crosse Speedway doesn't mean the program's not over with yet. We're going to be bringing you this program all the way past Oktoberfest race weekend. Now, before we hit the break right there, I added a little glimpse of what's to be at the La Crosse Speedway. We've added another race to the race schedule. It was just announced about a week ago. Now, we have our final street drag on Saturday, October 12th. That is the 300-foot bracket national. Starts right about 1 o'clock. 15 brackets, up to 200 cars, street dragging the entire afternoon. You pay $5 to get in the grandstands, and not only will you be able to watch the entire street drags, but you're going to be invited to stay to watch the Pumpkin Smash 100. A 100-lap, 4-cylinder, and V6 Enduro has been added to the race schedule. This is going to be something else. The grandstands will open at 12:30. The first bracket starts at 2 o'clock for the street drags. And then between, say, 5 and 6, that's when the Enduro is going to start. The grandstand admission for the whole day, $5. Kids under 11 are free. If you would like to see the rules in the entry blank, it is at lacrossespeedway.com, and just click on driver's link, and you'll find the entire brochure, the entry fee, what the payouts are, and the entire rules. So it's 4-cylinder and V6 Enduro coming up the afternoon of Saturday, October 12th. Make sure you check that out, because that's going to be a fantastic affair on a Saturday. To the Mississippi Thunder Speedway we go. It was a Friday night full of action. Champions were crowned left and right. We're going to get right into it. 3 repeat championships were awarded to Doug Wojcik. What a season he had. 10 feature race wins. Tommy Richards collected back-to-back MTS track championships in Minnesota Street Stocks and Super Stocks divisions. And Josh Angst won his second USRA Modified Championship, his first coming in 2010. Also, USRA B-Mods, young Jacob Blease worked his way to nail down a 5th feature win of the season and the track championship. And Bobby Ford Jr. also won a feature and nailed down the Pure Stock Division Championship on Friday night. Champions of the Lightning Speedway, the small track inside the big track. 2013 track championships in the A Division went to Trempealo's Alex Stevens, and Matt LeDuc won the B Division. So to Super Stocks, Dan Gullickson won the evening's 20-lap feature event ahead of Tommy Richards. Bob Szewski did the same as he won the 600 mod features, but track champion was the man that helped bring the 600 mods out, and that is Don Warner. Racing resumes this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. $10,000 to win, B-Mod Challenge. It's going to be a lot of cars, upwards of 200 of the country's best B-Mod drivers will be in this entire area, running 3 nights with a practice night on Wednesday night. And then the A-Mods are also going to be out 3 nights, $1,000 to win every night. So you may have one A-Mod driver walking home with $3,000. One of the drivers that I'm sure would like to walk home with $10,000 is my guest in the program. He just finished 11th in the USRA B-Mods at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway this year, and that would be my buddy Casey Knutson. How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you, Dan?
Good to have you on the program. How'd you like to wake up Sunday morning with a $10,000 check in your back pocket?
I would be pretty pumped up. I just would be speechless after that. It would be fun.
Well, Casey, again, coming off an 11th run at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway this season, took a couple of nights off, but really got things raring to go just before the midway pack of the season, and he's going to be one of the 200 or so drivers that's going to be involved in this. We're going to kind of take you back a little ways. I met Casey, was 5, 6, 7 years ago at the Cooley Go-Kart Raceway, as you can see in his shirt.
Yeah.
How many years did you run go-karts?
I ran go-karts for 5 years.
And you had some success running the karts?
Yeah, I did. I had some good years, and my first year or so, it was a little struggle just getting used to it, and then it came around for me.
And then track championships at Cooley?
I never did get a track championship, but I did get a couple feature wins there. In Westby, I got a couple over there, and so I got some feature wins under my belt.
It's interesting to get the guests in the program like we've had in the past. Mike Carlson comes to mind. Sure, you raced against him.
Yep.
Matt Henderson probably raced against him.
Yep.
I know I'm leaving some drivers out that started out at that go-kart track just outside the La Crosse Speedway that are now either racing full-time on lacrosse or full-time on dirt.
Yeah. There's I believe Matt Henderson or Ryan Henderson. I don't know if there's a relation there or not, but
Ryan in the Super Stock number 80, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. He races up at Fountain City on dirt, so it's nice to see guys still racing.
Now, how does that experience on that small of a track in a go-kart set your sights for either running on asphalt or dirt to the point where you are right now?
It's like the small track down at West Salem. You got to be smooth, and then when you get on the big track up at Fountain City, you got to be smooth up there too. And a lot of it kind of just falls together.
Now, what made you go from go-kart racing right into a USRA B-Mod? I mean, that's a huge. We're not talking going from the go-karts to a Thunder stock, a lacrosse, or go-karts to a pure stock at Mississippi Thunder. You went with the big boys right off the bat.
Yeah, and I was a huge fan of dirt track racing ever since I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and we finally went my 5th year into the go-karting. I finally said, let's move up. I've had enough go-karting, like, let's move up, and we moved up, and we thought it was the right choice, and I think it has. It's been the right choice.
Now, you've been in the B-Mod class for how long?
This is my 3rd year, so.
So what was the rookie year like?
The rookie year was up and down. It was fun, but we had some good finishes. The competition wasn't as tough as it is now. The competition this year is outstanding. So. Well,
you got to figure this year alone, I would say on average 26 B-Mods has been the class, and that's a couple of, you've got some national champs that have been in there, some track champions from other racetracks that have been there as well, which has really amped up that program, and that's been one of the largest classes at MTS.
Yes, it has, and like Troy Hovey, Jacob Blees, Corey Krapser, running against those 3 guys at least 2 times a week is just outstanding. I mean, if you can stay with them, I mean, it gets you pretty pumped up for a small budget team. So.
And that small budget team had a fantastic run last Friday night during championship night. Probably one of the best nights I think I've seen you run in that B-Mod class. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with Casey Knutson. He drives the 12K. We're going to not only see what it looks like to run outside of his car, we're going to let you see what it's like to race inside of his B-Mod here in just a couple of moments. Casey Knutson, my guest, B-Mod driver at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway. More to come next on KQEG TV.
Did you know that the Holman American Legion is open to the public? That's right, 7 days a week you can enjoy the full-service bar while watching your favorite sports team or NASCAR driver. You don't need to be a member to enjoy the Holman American Legion's rotating lunch special every Tuesday for only $6. A banquet hall with seating up to 250 people is also available for weddings, birthdays, or any other special event. See you at the Holman American Legion, 419 First Avenue West in Holman.
Get ready for the Thunder, the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Racing starts at 7. Super stocks.
Modified.
600 mods.
Pure stocks.
Street stocks.
Levi.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style.
Tickets $12 for adults.
$5 18 and under.
$8 for students. Or our family pack.
$25 for 2 adults and 3 kids 18 and under.
Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder.
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
May I take your order?
Be not defeated by indecision. Choose the path that leads to a better day. Choose the way of the meal.
Make it a meal with one of Cousin Sub's new pork subs, the Memphis steak, or the Cubano for a limited time only.
The key to happiness is sharing.
No.
Cousin Subs. Better bread, better subs, better day.
We're back one more time. Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV. I should have just loaded up this entire console with dirt and mud because that's what my guest Casey Knutson is going to be involved in. Not only last night, but Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night as he's setting his sights for the $10,000 to win B-Mod Challenge brought to you by Bayman Law in Fountain City. Casey, let's jump from the console. How about we just jump right inside of your B-Mod? This is probably the coolest video we've ran here this entire race season. Everybody's got GoPros now, and you've seen people do it on the outside of the cars. You thought, what the heck, I'm going to do it on the inside of my car.
Yeah, we're right now we're just getting ready to go green, I believe, and
trying to see now we're on the back straightaway right there coming out of 2. So this is between turns 2 and 3.
Yeah.
What do you think of all the extra dirt Bob brought in this year to really make that turn 3 and 4 high banked?
Yeah, it's going in there. It can be tough because the sun is shining right in our eyes there in turn 3. So going down that whole back straightaway is a little tough. So you got to hit your mark just right.
And one of the things I was going to mention, because you can see here in a moment as your visor is going to be full of sun, you don't have mirrors, so you pretty much have to rely on the sound that's behind you, knowing how close a car is, or your peripheral vision. but you can't even look at the scoreboard to see what number's behind you.
Right, no, unless you're on the way bottom and you can trust yourself by ducking down in your seat and looking up. There's no way you should risk it looking up at that scoreboard.
So now, for the people that don't know the inside of a B mod, you're running gears.
Yep, we're running gears, and it depends on if you're on a long track or a short track. Like up here, we like to run like a 583 at this track, and down at like a big track like Casey Speedway down in Iowa, we like to run a 543 where you get your RPMs up. So.
And again, here you're not even running at top speed, because I can tell you're still putting in some practice laps here. But hopefully here in a moment, we're going to see it kick in. You can see some cars inside. Grandstand was packed that night up in the Mississippi Thunder Speedway. It's something I've had people ask me in the past, and when I saw this video, I thought I was going to have you explain it perfectly. When people are in the grandstands, they ask, how do those plastic things come off their shields? And they're called tearaways, and you can just see it flapping on the right portion of your helmet right there. The tearaways are used. Obviously, you're getting so much dirt kicked up in your face during the entire race. How does a tearaway come off your helmet?
Well, there's a little clip there that you gotta stick your thumb in, and you gotta just do it quickly. I mean, your hands are both on the steering wheel, and you gotta rip that off with try to get it in with your thumb and rip it off as fast as you can. And
now, how many are on your helmet? Is there just one?
I usually put on 4 each race, depending on how long the race is, how muddy the track is. If it's dusty, then I don't put as many on. So.
Now, have you ever yanked accidentally just all 4 of them off, and then you're pretty much
yeah, I have ripped them all
for
off.
the rest of the race?
I have ripped them all off before, and then all you have left is your glove, and you just cannot wait for that race to get over with.
Because I tell you what, you get out there on a track that just had some water put down, where you've got some big chunks of mud flying. You get nailed in the face. Your glove only does so much before you just can't see.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. I mean, there's nothing really much you can do unless you had some glove, some sort of cloth in your cockpit. So
Casey Knutson joining me, a 12K B-Mod driver at a Mississippi Thunder Speedway. The next video we're going to show you, we're going to take you out of the cockpit, and we're actually going to show you what it's like to corner this thing. The front straightaways, the corners, as Casey's got it set up, where he can run the GoPro both ways, as this is aiming outwards now. Now this is going to show, and I really love this video because I want people to watch your hands in that steering wheel. Your hands are moving so much on a dirt race, especially the corners.
Right. Yeah.
Coming in and out, I should say.
Yeah. And like, not that the track's rough or anything, but there's so much movement going on, and there's so many G-forces throwing it into a corner like that. So.
You guys are topping 85 to 90 miles per hour, and this just shows you the most impressive thing to me is the 3 and 4 and even 5 wide racing you guys do there. As we watch people here, as you hit into the corners, you're on your brakes more than the average person would imagine.
Right, yeah, right here I am, as I'm in traffic right now, and I'm not going as fast as I'd like. I believe that's Ben Anderson up there, and he's a great runner. He's fun to race with, so yeah, now we're on the bottom of the track, and we got to be more on the brake and easy on the throttle coming out, because if you do not want to spin your tires coming out.
And the thing is, you guys get so close, but every time you're 3, 4, and even 5 wide in the corners, there's hardly ever any contact. I mean, you would think, oh, here comes a huge wreck, or I'm going to say, here we go. But it doesn't happen.
Right. Our drivers in our class are so smooth. They became so smooth, and we have so much respect for one another. So we give each other our space, and we don't want to wreck anything, because when we wreck stuff, it costs a lot of money to fix it back up.
It does, and it's really funny because you get past the sheet metal on these cars. I mean, obviously, everyone's going to have dings and dents and wheel rubs every now and then with the sheet metal, but it's what's inside that sheet metal that's where the price tag goes up.
Right, yeah, and we have those open wheels in the front, too, so a lot of stuff can happen just by making a little contact.
And we've seen that. I mean, even last weekend, running during the regular season finale, cars running maybe this close together coming to turn 3 and 4, and you can cut a tire down just like that with just the minimal amount of contact.
Right. Yeah, those tires, They hold up pretty good, but they only hold up for so long, and you do not want a tire to go down because they're pretty expensive as well.
Do you like a wet, tacky track, or do you like it where it looks like a mirror?
I like it a wet, tacky track because I feel like I'm a little faster on there. The open motors have a little more power than those crate engines do, so like the... And
it pretty much comes down to, if you have a wet, tacky track where things are sticking, it's more of the car than it is the driver. You get up there where you're just seeing black all the way around, it starts getting shiny. That's pretty much driver more than car.
Right, yeah. When the track is all black and rubbered up, then it's down to the driver. And if you got everything set up just right, you got to hold your own. And if you can hold your own, then you should be able to come out with a good finish.
So this weekend, you're up against the nation's best USRA mods. Obviously 200 coming from about 20 different states. This is your home track. You've been there for a while now. You should have a slight advantage to win that track. What are your feelings going into this side? This is obviously going to give you the biggest race of your career.
Yeah, it will be, and I'll be pretty pumped up for this race. I'm, thinking about it a lot as of late, and it should be good. So we'll see what comes down.
Well, whether he wins it or not, he's one of the young guns and hot shoes at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway. And it's been a pleasure having him on the program. The best of luck to Casey as he tries to get that $10,000 to win. It's not just the $10,000 to win, folks. There are non-qualifier races where drivers have a chance of winning about $2,000 as well. So hopefully you have a productive weekend.
Yeah, hopefully we do too. I'm hoping for a good finish.
All right, he didn't get a chance to talk about Casey's sponsors, but I'm going to throw them on my Facebook page so you'll be able to see when we highlight who my next guest is, exactly who he has on his car so we can give them some plugs as well. Go to MississippiThunder.com. Check it out. We're going to give you the previews and what's going on the entire 4 days of racing with tweet updates left and right. For Casey Knutson, I'm Dan Diker. Thanks for joining us here on 7 Rivers Racing.